Hi, my name is Jeff Dreiling, and I'm the co-founder here at Complete Legal. And on a day-to-day basis, I'm largely in charge of the revenue cycle and consulting. When we first started looking to bring in an outside voice, I think the overarching reason was because we felt like after 5 years in business, the efforts that we were putting in were increasing, but the results and returns we were getting were decreasing. And after a couple of years of doing that and exhausting ourselves, we realized that we needed to look for an outside voice to maybe take a fresh look at the situation. When we initially engaged with Ytechnology, we were looking for an outside voice to come in and get a fresh view of our business. Um, my partner and I had been in business for 5 years, and we had been putting in more and more effort seemingly every year with lesser results. Um, we were working too much in the business, and we knew that, but we needed someone to show us how to balance how much we work in the business versus how much we work on the business, and then specifically to give us the tools to help us to get there. Before engaging with Y Technology, we tried several different solutions to fix our stagnation. Most of those looked like, hoping for the unicorn hire, the one person will solve the problem approach. We tried that a couple of times before being burnt enough that uh, we knew that we needed to look outside of our own four walls for a solution to what the problems our business were facing. I think probably my favorite experience about working with Y Technology to date has been the implementation process. I was admittedly afraid to bring in a consultant of any type into our business because of what that means to me, having experienced it at larger corporations and just watching the news. But what I found with Y Technology is that when they came in, from the first time they stepped into our organization, um, they tried to learn us. They didn't come in with a solution in mind and start the sales process to convince us that that solution was right for our problems before even taking the time to learn what our problems were. They sat down with us, they sat down with our people, they took the time to really get to know us and our business, and then deliver a customized solution that wasn't just left on our doorstep, but they're still involved with our business on a daily basis to make sure that those solutions are being implemented, they're being understood, and most importantly, that their results are positive and successful. We brought in Y Technology to work with my partner and I, the owners of the business, and over time, they quickly started working with other members of our executive team. I think at one point during their engagement, we had four different members of our team with a weekly one-on-one with a member of the Y Technology team, and that wasn't at their advice; that was at our request. Once they got involved into our organization, we saw several different areas where they could add value beyond what the initial engagement called for, and they were dynamic and happy to help, and they've continued to support us in an ever evolving way since our first engagement. We've seen a lot of benefits since our first engagement with Y Technology. I think the three main benefits that we've seen across our organization are that we have an increase in efficiency all around because everybody knows what their job is now. Everybody knows what their role is. Everybody understands their own strengths and weaknesses. Weaknesses have been addressed and worked on. Strengths have been magnified so that we can do them more. And so that is just knowing that everybody understands where they're at in the organization and why, and they embrace that is the first and probably the most important uh, change that we've seen since Y Technology's been involved. The second is that everybody's been empowered uh, by knowing what your role is and knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are, so that you can use your strengths and avoid your weaknesses in achieving the results that you're trying to get. It has everybody with a sense of confidence because they know. what they're walking into, and they're confident they have the skill set or the tools to reach those goals. I think the third thing we've seen is just an increase in profits. Um, One of the things that Ytechnology did when they came in is they focused on the people, but the reason they focused on the people was to help us make more money. And ultimately, that's why you bring somebody in. The difference in the role I play in the business and how we do business today versus before Ytechnology is that today I know when I come into the office exactly what my role is, and everybody else on my team knows exactly what their role is. So there's less surprises. That doesn't mean that we don't get pulled into each other's areas every once in a while, but everybody knows what their job is. Everybody knows what their roles are, and most importantly, I think everybody knows where their assets for help are as well. My advice for anybody else that is a small business owner and is feeling like maybe they're putting in more effort to achieve the same results than they used to, my advice is to get a fresh look from the outside, somebody that knows what they're doing, somebody that knows what business systems and efficiencies can do for an organization, and someone that's seen it dozens, if not hundreds of times before. I think the only thing that held us back from doing this earlier was our own naivety and our own stubbornness. And my advice to anybody else in that similar situation would be to get a trusted set of eyes from outside your organization and quicker versus later, and to see what improvements are there to be made. The biggest difference, and what I'll say is the Y technology difference, is the personal touch. Consultants are, they have the reputation for, because it's true, is that most large consulting businesses come in with a team of people in suits and charge you a whole bunch of money to tell you things that you already knew. They leave you a 500-page document no one's ever going to read as a work product. That was my perception, and that was my experience in the past. And why technology has completely shed that mold of consulting. DeKeith and his team are the utmost professional. They have so much knowledge, but most importantly, they care. They care about the people. They take the time to get to know not only the organization, but the people within the organization. They were able to give us insights we never would have been able to find on our own. And they did it all with a goal towards making the business better and making the people in the business happier. I cannot recommend DeKeith and Ytechnology high enough for what they've done for our business, both professionally and then also upon a personal level. They're great people and fun to work with, and people that you don't mind having, intermingled with your own organization.